Hello, it's Lara of All Woman, and today I'm going to share with you a short sequence that you can do in the morning to re-energize and revitalize. Perfect for this time of year, getting us ready for spring. Can be done on its own, or you could do it along with the floor sequence that I've filmed recently as well. So let's get ready. For this, we're going to start in child pose. So coming down to a kneeling position, feet together if that works for you, or you can have your feet hip distance. And just come to kneel, and we're going to reach down with the tail, reach up with the crown of the head, breathe in and breathe out. And just bring the belly down towards the thighs. Hands rest by the feet. Hairline in contact with the floor, tail reaching down into the ground, and just resting here for a few breaths. So I quite like to bring my hands forwards onto the ground so that the thumbs touch and the index fingers touch to make Yoni Mudra on the floor. I'm going to breathe down to my tail and up to my head. So we're really connecting to back, body and spine here. Rounding through the arms, tops of the feet. So if you couldn't reach all the way to the ground, you could put a pillow or a bolster behind you, like this. And you could rest on that so that your tail could rest there as you came down. You could be one hand on top of the other as well, or you could have something in front and behind, so a bolster behind and a bolster in front. Or sometimes all you need is just a blanket behind you so that you can rest there and it gives you a little bit more height. So coming back now into this, and from here we're going to slowly reach forwards with the arms. It's like we're kind of inching the hands forwards, lifting the elbows off the ground, reaching back to the tail, spreading the finger bases really wide, index finger and little finger, so that it's like the hands have got like webbing or something between them. And rolling the inner shoulders in a little bit by grounding the index finger, and then the outer shoulders out by grounding the little finger. So there's like two spirals going on in the arms. And we're breathing down to tail and up to head. And then we're going to push down into the ground and just feel how that pushing down brings a connection into the pelvic floor to lift us up. And we'll just play with that a couple of times so we can really get that grounding quality. And then the next time, pushing into the ground and coming all the way up. Bringing the hands slightly forwards of the shoulders, turning them in, and grounding the tops of the feet on the floor. So the hands are turned in slightly, and from here we're going to just shift the weight fully into the hands and feel that connection from throat to pelvis and how the awareness drops into the front body. And as we breathe out, really ground the tops of the feet. Feet are hip distance now, and bring the bum back towards the heels. Doesn't have to come all the way back. We're just sort of feeling that shift of weight and how when we ground through our hands, front body opens, and when we ground through the tops of the feet, back body opens and we've got back body awareness. So just rocking between those two. Front body awareness, open from pelvis to throat on inhale, back body awareness. Feeling that in the back body. And then come to a neutral position, and we'll come through our cat-cow. So as we breathe in, imagine you've got a tail. You're sticking your tail out behind, and this pelvis to throat opening happens, and your spine is long and free and heart is open. Breathing in, ground through the tops of the feet. Imagine you're tucking a tail between your legs. The back come round, the belly curls in. Breathing in, finding length. Head and tail move away from each other, reaching that tail out behind you. Breathing out to round, and all the while keeping your awareness in grounding through the hands and the feet quite equally. there'll be transition points where weight is more in the hands than the feet, but then there'll be a point where you reach like an equilibrium. So just moving with your own breath, waking up the spine. And when you're ready to, you could keep that rounding as you exhale, bring the big toes to touch towards each other, and start to bring the bum down towards the heels. And as you inhale, elbows wide, doesn't matter how low you are, and we're pushing down into the ground and coming through. And then letting the tail reach through to follow the heart. It's like we've picked up that tail, we're going to drop it down behind us. And we're breathing in and we're scooping through the pelvis as if we're scooping ice cream, keeping that rounding as we drop the tail back down again. Breathing in to come through and scoop, breathing out back down. And if you really give your arms to the ground here, so you could take a moment when you start just to really kind of think that the hands have got roots, and take a moment to give the arms to the ground. And as you do that, and imagine that the hands have got roots, it means that when you come into poses like this swooping cat, the arms have less work to do, the shoulders have less work to do because you're using gravity. And then from here, really let the feet just open. And then we're going to just play with this cat position. We might want to take this into some circles around. Breathing in, breathing out, shifting the weight around, imagining we've got a pencil attached to your belly button, making some circles. You might want to send this into figure of eights or just ripples. So having a bit of a time to freestyle with your movements, just feeling into where your body wants to move, letting your body guide you. Imagine you've got this tail and it wants to move wherever it wants to move. So don't be afraid to just explore with free movement when you practice at home. And then you might want to slow this down, slow it down. And come when you're ready once more into child pose, into the child pose that works for you, whether that's resting on a bolster with a blanket behind you. Lengthening through the back of the neck so that the back of the neck can be long and the front throat can remain open. Feeling the residue of the pose, feeling where the breath is, breathing fully into that back body. From here, when you're ready, reaching the fingertips forward, spreading the finger bases, elbows lifting off the ground, push into the tops of the feet, reaching forwards through the crown of the head, lifting up to come to all fours. Come into any little cat-cow variations that you might want to now. Just waking up that spine. And then when you're ready to, shift the weight into the hands, turn the feet under, so you're on the balls of the feet. Imagine there's a piece of string lifting up from your tail, lifting up into the sky. So the heels are lifted, imagine balloons under the heels of the feet. And just have a little pad through hands and feet, and maybe let one heel down than the other. It's like you're finding your base again, finding the ground. Could even bring a little walk into this. And then when you're ready, really come up onto the balls of the feet, heels open. Imagine you're kind of hanging on a washing line, inner thighs rolling in. And toes turning in slightly and heels out so the sacrum can be open, reaching the tail down to the ground so it's not lifted up too high. And I'm going to go a bit longer here. Equal weight between hands and feet, and then again imagine you've got this tail and maybe you're bringing the tail to the left side and to the right, and then really bring your awareness to fill that right buttock with breath, or prana or energy, and then the left side, and then the inner left side of the back, and the right side of the back, and the center of the back, and the upper back between the shoulder blades, and the neck and the back of the head. And then bring the awareness into the front body, sending that prana into the inner right side of the belly, and the inner left side of the belly, and the center of the belly. And the right side of the ribs, and the left. Right side breast, left side breast. The whole chest, the neck, the face. And then just feeling into wherever you want to move now. You could maybe alternate as well between a dog position and bringing your weight forwards into more of a kind of plank position, and even into an upward dog position. Bringing movement and ripples in wherever would feel good to send that energy and prana. Also imagining you've got this tail that's reaching out behind you, so that your dog becomes like more of a snaky dog, just exploring movement here. Can walk the hands back towards the feet when you're ready. You could also rest again in child pose. So I'm going to have my knees slightly bent here to start. Let the head really hang, bring the weight forwards on the front edges of the feet. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Push down into the feet, ground really deep. Sweep the arms wide, come up to stand. And bring the hands to the heart. So we're going to finish with a little standing sequence here. Breathing in, opening up wide, hands and feet move away from each other, big star shape. Breathing out, drawing in, rounding off, imagining I've got this sun and I'm drawing it right into my center. Breathing in, rising up, gazing at fingertips, bringing all that sunshine around me. Breathing out, bending the knees, push into the ground, rising up, bringing the hands down through prayer as if I'm anointing myself on the forehead, nose, mouth, and down into the chest with my favorite oil. Breathing in, opening up, hands and feet move away from each other, and feeling this connection through my core. It's like a cross. And if I close and open, I can really feel how the arms and legs connect into my center. Breathing out, rounding off. Drawing that sunshine in. Breathing in, rising up, spreading that sunshine all around me. If you did this at night, it could be moonshine. Going one more time each side. Breathing in, opening up, tail reaches behind me. Breathing out, rounding off. Draw that energy in, breathe in, lift. Bring it around me, breathe out, bend, push. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, round. Draw in, breathe in, pushing into the ground to help with that lift up. The more we use gravity, the more we can rise up effortlessly. Rest for a couple of breaths here. Tail reaches down. Push the elbows into the knees. Push. And come up. Anointing. From here we're going to make this a little bit more feminine. We'll take the love from our heart. Send it down into the ground. Rising up. Little finger, whole hand comes together. Down through prayer. Drawing in. Anointing again. Coming back to the heart. So we're going to take all that love from our heart down into the womb space using Yoni Mudra. Thumbs touch, index fingers touch. This big triangle is coming down to the earth. Rising up. We're drawing all this energy in. One more time here, moving with your breath. And then we're going to open this up a little bit more. Taking the love from our heart, breathing out, down into the womb space and ground, coming up, little finger to thumb. It's like we're going to just surround ourselves with all this gorgeous prana now, letting the elbows drip. We draw all of that in to our womb space and back up into our heart. Breathing in, breathing out, send all that love down. Thank the ground. To the heavens, little finger and thumb touch. Elbows wide, space between the shoulders. Coming down, draw that energy in to the womb space and back up to the heart. One more time here with your own breath. Prayer position. Move in any way that works for you, maybe a little side to side move. You might decide you just want to come to stillness now and bring the feet a little bit more close together, a little more closely together. I'm having my knees slightly bent so that I can really lift up into the pelvic floor, grounding through the big toe to the inner heel, letting the tail reach down behind me, palms open, heart open. Imagining I've got roots from the feet. Again, reaching down underneath the body with the perineum, opening up to the energy above through the crown of the head. Imagining a plumb line down through the crown of the head, down the center of the body, pulling me down into the earth. Feet alive, hands alive, just feeling the energy that you've created. Bring your hands to your heart. Perhaps connecting with an intention for the day, or just thanking yourself for the opportunity to give yourself a little bit of time and connection. And then you're ready for your day. Namaste. Thank you.